So as I said, I'm a mother. I'm here on behalf of my 3 children and also as a teacher on behalf of my roughly 600 students at Parkside, but I also teach at Coleridge. And I would like the council to push forward for my family to have the right to more in central Cambridge. This council, I think, should be deeply ashamed of the Labour councillor colleagues who voted at the Revenue Scrutiny Committee unanimously for proposals that aim to socially cleanse the river of an entire community of highly vulnerable people, a community established over more than 30 years, 3 decades. This is the behaviour of a Tory government, not a Labour council, and I would like to say shame on those councillors. Thank you. Rowers, in my opinion, are the problem on the river. They congest it, they kill the wildlife, they cause criminal damage to our boats, they cause noise pollution day and night with amplified headsets, and in some cases they harass people on houseboats, myself included. And yet there are no proposals to control and limit their numbers. The fact that the moorings shambles, as I would like to call it, completely mismanaged, in my opinion, by Messrs Wilson and Bradford, was passed from a community committee to a revenue committee, means their main purpose is to generate income, not to consider the best interests of those of us who the council has historically treated, in my opinion, diabolically, in its complete failure to meet our needs as a minority group protected by law. Moorings, in my opinion, should be allocated as social housing is, according to need, not first come, first served. It's very unfair that working class families such as mine are not given moorings in favour of the wealthy leisure users, most of whom are currently abusing the system by renting out boats on council moorings or living in houses, using their boats only at weekends or during holidays. People on boats live off-grid and should be applauded. I did see that sustainability is one of the main issues today, and I think we should be included in the plans for the council's future. I have still not had an answer to my freedom of information request to the Labour councillors to declare an interest in development companies. I'm also still waiting to have a meeting confirmed with the Scrutiny Committee, who have a meeting with CAN voters planned, but not with the MBTA. My questions are as follows. 1, why am I, a local teacher, not allowed the right to moor while people abuse the system? Why are my children being discriminated against because they live on a boat? Is this discrimination linked to my children's races and ethnic minority and my Rome status? What message would you like me to tell my 600 students, including my GCSE groups and my Year 11 form group in the middle of their GCSEs, and their parents, who will lose their teacher if you make me homeless? Can you please for a moment all try to imagine what it must be like as a parent?
Further question or...
I can't finish, so it's very important.
3 minutes. You have a statement and you have left half of your questions. If you're quick...
Thank you, I'd just like to finish my point. I've only got my last paragraph to go, sir. I'm sorry that I overrun. It's a sentence. It is a question, because I'd like the councillors to please imagine how stressful it must be for those of you that are parents to live one day at a time, which is how I'm living at the moment, unable to plan for the future whilst raising 3 children and holding down a full-time teaching job in the state of the current education system, whilst coping with the absolute terror that we could be made homeless tomorrow by those that we voted into positions of power to protect us. And I call on all of you here today to please use your power to influence the ordinary working class people. We gave you this power.
Rather than questions, but I will answer the questions. There is no decision to be made. This is a consultation which will be lasting now 12 weeks. We have listened to the concerns about acreage not being long enough, so the consultation will last for 12 weeks. No decisions have been made yet, and no decisions may be made. It depends what happens from the consultation.
Can you speak up?
Yeah.
We have listened to the views of riverboat dwellers at the recent committee meeting. The consultation period will be extended. There's plenty of time for this consultation. It It will come back to meeting of the Strategy and Resources Committee in March next year. There is no question of any decision being made before that date.
Is your home being consulted?
Quiet!
Statements about being made homeless tomorrow are really misleading everybody in this room. There's no question of anybody being losing their place dwelling in the city.
At the moment.
At the end of the consultation, if it is decided that some of the areas of the river are not safe for continued mooring of boats, then boats will be moved. But we will make sure that anybody living in those boats on the riverside area are relocated on the river in another mooring. There's no question of anybody losing their home if it's decided they should be moved.
So, with respect, what I would say is I received a letter from Antony Jackson, and the letter states that if I move onto council land, which I need to, then I will immediately be subject to the court procedure and be evicted from the river. So yes, actually, I could be made homeless tomorrow. I would lose my job, my children would lose their school places, I would have to leave Cambridge, I wouldn't be able to pay the mortgage on my boat, and then yes, I would be homeless. And then I would be a burden on the council housing stock that I have created an alternative to through myself living on a boat. It's also a very, very sustainable off-grid solution, which I think should be applauded and supported rather than attacked.